Hi everyone. Today is what? 8th of June, new month. Okay, so let's begin with Bitcoin as usual. We'll start with 4 hours. Now, last week we talked about this arch and it worked out pretty well. If you look at it, it touched this range, and I did mention that it may not go up right away. It may retrace, and as long as it doesn't come down to this level, which is like I said around 65K or so, there is there's no risk. So definitely this is so annoying because there's so many attempts at this level but not able to break about, right? So naturally this is frustrating for so many, I mean including myself, but we have to just accept it, even if it, yeah, annoying, we can't do much. Anyway, so if you look at, even this trend line is helping. If I'll just fine tune a bit, if this trend line is helping, maybe we can start from here, then it's even more accurate, right? So as I mentioned earlier, that these trend lines are for general guidelines and visual clue. It tells us that this drop was very I mean very much unexpected, quick, however not lethal. It touched this orange line, which is good in a way. This is acting as a support, and it is consolidating here, right? It is this breakdown hasn't come down to this zone. Unless it comes down to this zone, lower zone of this orange box, there is absolutely no concern, right? Now, why this would happen, fundamentally there is no major thing. I mean, this is just technical move in my point of view. I don't see any market event except the job report that we have seen, but surprisingly the stock market went up but not Bitcoin. So I have no answer why it happened. Fundamental point of view, the job report is strong, means that the Fed may not cut the rate in July, and I think many analysts or economists are saying that they will delay to November maybe or December, so it may not happen. So probably crypto is more sensitive to interest rate because it's interest rate sensitive for reason I mentioned in past, right? So many activities are happening on borrowed coins. So when the interest rate remain high, there is always negative effect. So point is, when the labor report is good, the job report is good, that means the Fed is not under pressure to cut rate because there is no immediate threat to recession, and then that's why probably this reaction we have seen. So yeah, that's fundamental point of view. A technical point of view, as I said, this level is not an issue. This is well within this boundary, and we were expecting because there were good attempts here, right? So this is totally fine, right? As long as it sticks to this one. And right now, I don't see any kind of aggression here, right? If it should not come down to this one. Let's look at little higher time frame and see how the structure looks like. I mean, this is definitely going to get extended now, looking at the 1 day because of the drop. And this is what I mentioned last time. Whenever there is a drop, it changes the shape of the pattern and it changes the timeline. There is no change in terms of the trend. There is no change in terms of the strength. There's no change in terms of trend, but there is change in terms of timeline simply. So this has happened clearly, right? What we would like to see now next, I would just move this one and say, we would like to see this, right? So this has to move further down, actually. Yeah, you see, it has added delay by a week or so just because of this 1 day move, to be honest. So this trend line right now is important, but not so significant on 1 day, to be honest. So this kind of pattern is expected now. Now, when you have this kind of pattern in mind, that means we're talking about 10 more days, around 10 or maybe couple of weeks. And you can imagine that how annoying this would. And if it goes down further, then this pattern will be invalidated, right? So I would say this is my, I should have a band actually because it's not one line. I have to cover the whole entire region. So this is more broader lower band. This is narrow band. May extend a little more. See, so as long as it remains within this block, internal block, so to speak, we are fine. Right? That's a summary. Otherwise, I see no weakness in Bitcoin at this moment. Yeah, but this has changed everything in terms of timeline. Not everything, but in terms of timeline. Um, yeah, it has delayed by a week or two. Anyways, what can we do? We can remove this. See, if you look at it, it followed this path, then it followed the arch. Now we have another arch. So it is the patterns are working. If you notice, right, whether we like it or not, in terms of timing of it, timing of breakout, I mean, the patterns are working. So it gives us visibility, and that's the whole intention that we need to know what might be the price action in next few days, right? Because market has its own plan, if I have to express that way. There's no plan because it's a joint effort. I mean, it's a group activity, so there's no agenda. But this is just to express that we don't know, nobody knows that when the market wants to break above or make new high. But this kind of analysis help us. So we will just fine tune based on what market is doing, right? And then we get some clue and some kind of probability in terms of upside breakout. And this is what it looks like. So the upper zone becomes a hot spot or, hot zone, so to speak, because the consolidation is happening here. And in simple words, if the consolidation is happening here, then it's a major concern. If the consolidation is happening here, it's not a concern. And that's why this boundary is important around mid-level. So we don't, so this is a range, that the orange box, and everything is happening within this orange box. So I'm totally fine if it is consolidating on the upper side. So that's the bottom line. Okay, let's look at weekly now, because there's not much to add, to be honest. That's why. So in weekly also, if it is happening consolidating here, we're totally fine, right? I mean, it's just that it shifted, but I don't see anything else. So of course, the trajectory changes like this. We can remove this. Okay, so that's how it is on weekly. This is also fine. I'll just keep like this. We just have to review, and it is green candle. Remember, this is weekly green, though there is no major move, but this is weekly green, right? Let's look at monthly without drawing. So monthly, we had last month ended with green, though it tried to break above, but we can say almost it has actually recovered from the April month. 80% recovery, which is pretty good. It's not like little bit, like up to 61K, 62K. It went all the way to 672K, um, almost 72K, and then retraced. And the retracement was not so bad. It is not like 50% or below. So that is very positive, right? And then another month, I mean, the current month opened with a green candle, and it is still green, which is very positive. You see, we are dissecting this chart from different time frame and different point of view. Now we'll look at a closing price. So closing price is still well above the previous cycle's closing price, right? I'm not saying highs, right? This is the highest closing price, not the high. So let's not mix up. These are all closing prices. So this level is well above the previous cycle. So we can say this cycle, if I have to say this trend is a new cycle, let's say for now, right? And I believe that this is the cycle in continuation, as I mentioned, but let's say this is sub-cycle. I should stick to, because to me, it started from here, first leg, then retraced and little more because of COVID, and then went up. This would have come actually at this level, but this is waste of time. And this was the high, and this is because of the Fed's action. It brought down, but not deep enough, which would break the trend. If you look at the trend from candle, this chart point of view, it didn't break. So the you look at the angle, it maintained it, right? There was a big probable possibility actually that this could become left shoulder, this become head, and this could become a right shoulder and gone down. So when it lifted off, I mean, when it took off from here, this candle invalidated the scenario, which could have actually gone down in that case. And if you would have if this would have gone down up to this, it would have formed the right shoulder, and then we could have a line connecting this. In that case, like this, something like this, then breaking below this 20K would have devastating effect, because then it would have brought down this up to 6K or even 3K. That didn't happen. Why? Because of this monthly candle. This monthly candle invalidated the giant head and shoulder pattern. You see, so this candle was this was bad, but not that bad because it stayed about 20K. So this was the lifesaver. Always remember this one, right? So the October 2023 was the lifesaver. This month was a lifesaver. I'm telling you. I'm not talking about this trend. I'm talking about the whole entire move. If this would have gone down below, I don't know. I mean, there is no support until 6K range. And then this would also have broken probably, because then it would have created something bigger. But anyway, it didn't happen, so we don't have to talk about it. But it's since I saw this, and sometimes we take something for granted, right? You know, the achievements from the market or price section, we take it for granted and assume and don't pay attention sometimes. So I wanted to bring that point up. And so this month was the critical month, the most important month, I would say, in last 5 years, if you ask me. This was, sorry, this was the second most. This was the first, because this would have gone down further. But I'm not, even though this was very bad, we know that COVID was the reason. So it was understandable, this kind of pressure, right? But yeah, technically this was also very bad. But I I pay more, I said this is the most significant, even for compared to this one. So these are two main events, this one and then this one on a larger scale. So when we look at the big picture like this, And then think about this level. From no angle I see any threat. Unless this cluster, if you put the whole entire cluster where the closing and lows range in mind, which is 58K, roughly speaking, or like 56K, 58K range. We don't, as long as, again, I'm talking about monthly and a big scheme. 56K about, it's totally fine. But yeah, if it starts going down below 56K, that's bad. That will be really bad. Because then in that case, I'm again, there is no support until 26K. I mean, there is support at 32K, around 30s, but that is too bad. I mean, nobody would like it. And then it actually enters into uncharted territory where anything could happen. Again, this is a hypothetical scenario for awareness. So I'm highlighting different levels from different time frame. If you notice, so on a monthly, this May month low is the critical month, and if that is taken out, then there is of course support. There are two major support in 40s and then 30s, right? But you know that if that happens, what happens to the market? What happens to the alts and all? So we know that in the devastating effect. If this drop can actually break down alts by 50%, 60%, just imagine what happens if it touches 40K. You can imagine, right? Devastation. So that's why it's these levels are very important to understand. Right. So, but if we are just focusing on the major macro trend, then I think this May month low is something that we have to keep in mind. Hmm? Yeah. Otherwise, if you look at this, is totally fine. This is green. This is totally fine, right? So absolutely no issue. That's how the monthly looks like. Let's look at DXY now. So the DXY went up. This candle is not good for crypto. I don't like this one because it was going down nicely. However, this height is not high enough, which has which is threatening at this moment. But I really do not like. I didn't like the way it closed at high like this. This is very strong candle. This is a very strong candle. So, it's like telling us that okay, there is no threat, but don't be so complacent and relax. You have to be watchful. That's the message. But right now it is not a threat because it is not near 106. That's fine. Okay. From a drawing point of view, it is still following this. Maybe because of this bounce, again, we have to tune a bit like this. Yeah, what we don't want is this path. You see this path. So if you look at it, just adjusting a bit. We don't want this path to be followed. And right now this zone is uncertain, but still this is dotted line, dashed line. If it touches 105, I mean 0.7 or 8, then this dashed line becomes solid line. And then it's a big problem for crypto in my point of view, because then this would be in a path to recovery. I mean, no confirmation, but strong indication. It has to break about this rejection confirmation, right? So still we are sticking to this one. Okay, let's look at another drawing. Okay, this line is not broken yet. It broke in. This is intra week breach. Um, but not broken because the closing is well above this. So you see why BTC under pressure, because this is a pressure line. We can say this is a pressure line right now because we have seen it when it crossed the BTC went in a this was like really bad one from for BTC, and then BTC did well when it was going down. So this yellow line we can say pressure line on BTC. We saw pressure on BTC on this move for sure. So we would like DXY to be below this pressure line, below. Right now it is above, and that's why I'm saying the pressure is still on. There's no threat. So there is a difference. I'm sure you understand the difference. There is pressure means you cannot just relax and forget about it for a week or so. No, but at the same time there is no threat. Right? So it's not that Bitcoin is going to crash tomorrow. Right? It's not like that. But yeah, this is wake up signal means if somebody is assuming BTC is totally fine, we don't have to look for a month, then answer is no. We have to look at it. Unfortunately, because this was we wanted this to be down. Then okay, then in that case, there's no need to look at Bitcoin for a month or so. But but the answer is no. Because of this candle, we have to watch out. Again, that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah. So that's it. Let's look at yields. Yields also pumped, unfortunately, from this. Look at this. From this, it pumped. But again, this is not high enough. So the trajectory of this remains the same, right? And unless and until it goes back to this level, it's fine. But yeah, this kind of a thing is telling us that we are not. Look at this 3.5% move is not a joke for 10-year yields. It's not a joke. It's a big one. If you look at daily, this candle is nasty. Look at it's a huge candle. We don't see this kind of candle often. If you look at, I mean, there are very few days where, and recently we're seeing. In the past, there were not many like this. If you look at, there are tiny candles, always tiny candles. If you look at the whole entire, right? So this is a big one. Anyways, but if we, when you look at the big picture, it is on edge. Without oops, without drawing. So the trend is still up. But when it comes below 4.2 percentage, then it is very good for Bitcoin because these are indicators, these are reference data. But yeah, there is weakness on the chart from, but yeah, there's no confirmation. Right? Weakness is not confirmation. Weakness is early indication. My something crazy. Let's come to this altcoins now. Okay, another touch. So here the upside touch, lower side touch, RC, RB, whatever level we have marked with. So this is totally fine so far. So we had this path, it worked out well. So let me draw another line. Okay, indicating this, but I'm going to keep it dotted for now. I want this to be broken about and close above. When it close above RC, then I would draw a solid line. This is on edge, as you could see, right? However, it's totally fine because it's above critical level, right? But you can see what kind of shape it is forming actually. Tuk, 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 tuk. So if it consolidates here and then breaks down, then it could come down to 4.7. Means 50% drop. without any effort. That's why these levels are important. This level is important as a warning, and this is a risk. So this is clear. And about this, we can say this. Then we can say, okay, now it wants to go up. Makes sense? And this immediate support was broken. So you have that knowledge now. That's where it stands. Let's look at PCH now. Shit, why this is flickering? So annoying. This path is still valid, but this path will be invalidated just in case it breaks this support. I mean, close. Okay. And it will be critical below this. So we know it now. Doge is still weak. It tried to break up a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's similar to APT where it can have actually turned like this. If not, then still dotted line. And the confirmation will come if it breaks above this yellow zone. You know, until then, this becomes dotted, means a potential upside move, not with high probability at this moment. So it's like neutral zone, no threat, and no confirmation on upside, neutral zone. Ethereum is still good, very strong, because still staying above and well above this level. So absolutely, this candle was a mega candle. It helped. So this is staying strong. So it is well above critical level. So I don't have to talk much about it, right? So if it starts breaking R4, then consider that as warning. Means below 3K is a warning. That would be bad, I would say. But for now, it's not. If it is looking weak, okay. If it is looking weak, however, it's above R2, so it's okay. It's showing weakness. FIL is still fine. And if it close above, remember this pattern that I talked about will be invalidated. The worst case scenario is it goes above this level and comes down from the head and shoulder. A lot of head and shoulder patterns are emerging. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, I think I mentioned about it. In fact, but since the heads are not complete, we are not saying the pattern is complete, but we are tracking it. So, for an example, you can see that if we draw this path, if this draw hypothetical path for now, then it forms right shoulder, right? And one with little bounce, and then it could actually go down like this. And then above this is the happy path, right? This is a sad path. This is happy path. So we want our price to be about this. This is neutral, right? And this is positive. This is negative. So this is how I'm trying to analyze because this is annoying. This is annoying. I should not go all the way down actually. The odds are showing a lot of weakness. The and which is FTM. This is still fine as you could figure out. This path is still valid, still dotted line. I would say now the required level, I should update for this one since I have this label and all. Other, I'm just verbally I said this. Here we have it. So I'll move this one. This is the required level for new high. INJ, I kept this line purposefully because the required level would be above this line. It tends to go above, and if it is rejected and break below, then it's a confirmation that it wants to go down further below. You see? So drop, consolidation, attempt, And if attempt is successful this week or next week, then we don't need trend line. In fact, then in that case, the trend line will be shifted to this one. At this moment, I cannot shift it. But now this trend line is broken. So I want it to break above to make this trend to attempt and invalidate this attempt, because this is still within this range. That's why. But we have to keep it. So what happens? This is broken, but not necessarily confirmed, because after breaking, it is staying within the range. Because this candle's lows range, I mean, know what I'm saying? That's why. And then if it comes down and then breaks this low, then we can say, okay, that's bad, really bad. And in that case, I mean, this is support, but if this is broken, then it can go much lower. So I think we need to know that. Okay. KAS touched the R1, which is awesome, right? This is awesome and very encouraging. So this is see, this orange box is so important. We had this for a long time. Right? It helps us understand. So this is still within range, but it be pretty strong compared to other, pretty strong. Because like BTC, as I said, if the consolidation is on the upper side, on the highs, I'm fine. We don't want consolidation here, as we have seen for many coins, right? So we can clearly see that we cannot see each and every coin with the same lens. Different coins have different status or strength. We can clearly see from the chart. So this market is very different, where unlike the 2017 bull run or maybe last bull run, in 2017 bull run was a classic bull run where everything went up, everything, like even the shit coin went up, right? Any low cap, everything went up and significantly. Last time, most of the coin went up, most of the coin, but some of the coin didn't make new all-time high. If you notice, for an example, XRP top 5 didn't make new high. LTC, one of the top coins, right, didn't make new high, though touched that level 400 something, didn't make a new high. So when you can list down so many coins like that, old times, they did not make new high in the last bull run. You see, and this bull run, I would say it is more difficult for alts, where only some coins are trending up. You can clearly see that most of the coins are at the bottom from the last bull run. I mean bear run, recent bear run. I would say bear run. So they haven't even started with their bull run in this one, like with the Bitcoin's point of view. So we measure bull run. I mean, we count bull run with respect to Bitcoin, right? Because then it's a reference point. So the Bitcoin started bull run when it started going up from 17K and so on, right? So that's what we do. I mean, that's what we compare. The many coins are still at that last 2020 bottom, right? 2020, 2022 bottom. I mean, not 2020, but 2022 bottom. Near in that vicinity, nearby that range. And but some coins are trending. So like this coin trending, not just trending, but it is above. Some coins are trending, but under pressure, like for example, INJ, right? It is not consolidating here, it is consolidating here. So you see, this is under more pressure, but trending. Some coins not trending at all. Filecoin, it hasn't come out of this lower side. You see, this is the point. So this is the whole entire bear trend, you see, and the whole entire it hasn't even started bull run. It is still within this range. Similarly, Dogecoin, right? A little better than Filecoin, I would say, because of this move, but nothing major, because it hasn't started any the any major, so if it should have come to this level, like Ethereum for an example, or Bitcoin for an example, or some coins are even better, made new high, like amazing, right? So anyway, so you got the point. So we cannot see all these coins from the same lens. That's my point. Okay, link. So it came out, in this case this came out, but this is going through consolidation. This was very encouraging, R4. But remember, I didn't set the right but the right hand side shoulder. But now I'll just indicate why, because of this current week's candle. I'll just indicate that it, what if it forms a one, right? If it comes down to this, then it will confirm. So I don't want to do like this at this moment, but we are tracking it. So this time I'm adding this arch, not a complete arch though, to indicate or to visualize that we don't want this to be landing here, because that will be bad, clearly bad sign. Yeah. Right. So this is still fine because it's above this support levels key, but this is, we don't, and that's why we have this red line here indicating we don't want R2 to be broken, in short. Otherwise there's nothing more. These levels are useless because it doesn't make any sense. Even if it bounces, it has to cover a lot of ground in that case to be back, because then it will just start the reversing, right? So that's why this we need to understand. Again, this is for education, as I said. Remember, because we on this platform, remember, we are not biased toward any trend. Some people, do that they're always bullish, or some people are always bearish. We have objective view. Our focus is strength and weakness. Our focus is key levels on the upside and downside, and that's it. These levels are going to determine whether the strength has gone up or down. Uh, Look at this. The orange line helped us because this drop actually stopped here, and also there's this nearby R3. So you can say that this consolidation is on the upside, means totally fine. The RNDR dropped 14%. I saw yesterday, it was nasty. But despite of that, it's a structural, there is no structural damage, right? We can safely say that it wants to go up. Please bear with me because this screen is flickering. I don't want to restart at this moment because it's not that bad. I would still draw this one, and I don't mind drawing this with a solid line. Where is the solid line? Oh yeah, okay. I don't mind. But what is the invalidation point? If it closes up below R3 or below this candle, I would extend this box. I mean the zone, right? If it close below this, then that's bad. That's a warning sign. This is totally fine. So far, so good. Okay. So this is anyway one of the strongest ones. Look at these patterns. These patterns are coming up room. These patterns are not good, especially when it touches the neckline. So this rune is not looking good at this moment. But since the neckline is not broken, I think we are fine. But yeah, this is a weakness on this side. This is a weakness. Yes. SOL is still strong. It's still strong, and as long as it's stay above R7, we're fine, right? Still strong. But and this consolidation is on the upside. This is very neutral zone and positive so far. SOL is fine. PIA sudden drop. Um, but I would still draw this one with a dotted line, not the solid line for now. Why I'm for now. Um, I would like it to break above this $12, then the solid line become sorry, the dash line becomes solid line. So it broke this and not able to reach this level. So I would extend this. Should have different color. So this is yeah, so 12, 12, I said, yeah, 12 is fine. Ideally 14, conservative. 14, 14 is required. So still this is like under pressure. Okay, this is bad one. But still the structure is not broken. Okay, so that ends the analysis. I hope you find this useful, and I'm planning to change the structure of opportunity. As I said, right now I'm not charging anyone. Even the subscription is over for so many. I'm just continuing with them because the idea is to be with you. The idea is to keep the connection on. So I'm not closing the channel. However, the format and the scope will change, which I'll announce. So I'm talking to some people like who joined this call. I'm taking their feedback. I'm sharing my feedback. I mean, sharing my ideas and then trying to get their feedback and try to see what we can do in the best possible way. So if you join, I mean, you can actually share your comment on chatter, but it's always good to have you on our live call because we are going for live calls more, mm, and I'll announce about it, right? But yeah, we are planning to change the structure, and you'll be notified. Thanks, anyways. We'll be in touch. All the best. Thanks, everyone. Okay, call. Oh, stop.